Good morning, everyone. In today's session, we are going to see a new report of GST categorized bill format that we newly added in software. Use case of this report is you can categorize GST in three parts. Today, I am going to explain this GST scenario in a simple and practical manner using a real-life billing example. Before executing this practically, let's understand this concept theoretically. Here you can see I have divided the charges into three parts, Part A, Part B and Part C. Part is the item on which GST is applicable. Here you can see in Part A, municipal tax, electricity and water charges come. These three heads come under the Part A on which GST is not applied. Part B is a part in which GST applied. Item on which GST is always applicable. Under this Part B, parking charges, non-occupancy charges, other charges and interest on arrear, or if there is any penalties there, then this come under the Part B. On Part B, compulsory GST get applied. Part C is a GST applied on this item only when the total of Part B plus Part C exceed 22,500 rupees. As this billing is quarterly, so if the amount exceed beyond 22,500, when we calculate the part B amount plus part C amount, when the total of these two parts B plus C exceed the amount 22,500 rupees, then in this scenario GST get applied. In Part C, maintenance charges, sinking fund, repair fund, and lift maintenance contribution. These heads come under the Part C. Now let's see this scenario practically. For this, first step is we have to make sure head on which we are going to apply the GST. On those head, GST or service tax applicable checkbox must be ticked. So we will go to ledger heads, then browse it. As on maintenance charges, GST is applied. So we have to make sure that on those head like those parking charges, non-occupancy charges, other charges, interest on arrear, maintenance charge, sinking fund, repair and lift maintenance charges which come under the Part B and Part C. On those heads, service tax or GST applicable, this checkbox must be ticked. And these three heads, municipal tax and electricity, water charges, on these heads, we have to make sure that this service tax or GST applicable, this checkbox must be unticked. We will see those heads. As we can see, this municipal tax come under the Part A. So on this head, this service tax or GST applicable, this checkbox is unticked. This is first step. Now the second step is creating the bill category. For creating bill category, we have to go to ledger head. In ledger head, here you can see a button which is bill category. Click on this option. Then this form will get open. Here we are going to add the bill category, that is Part A, Part B and Part C. Now click on plus sign. In bill type, select the regular bill, as we are going to apply this categorized GST bill on a regular bill. So select the bill type as a regular bill. Enter here unique short code. I am going to enter A. And here in bill category, enter the text which we are going to show on a report. That is Part A, item on which GST is not applicable. Save this form. Now, after creating this Part A, here we can see in Part A, these three heads come under this Part A. So after creating the category, we have to add these three heads inside this category. So we have to click on define category wise tariff. Click on this. Now create a new record. After creating new record, select the bill category which we just created. For selecting the tariff, which are these three municipal tax, electricity and water charges. Then click on this box tariff name and press F10. So list of tariff will come. From this select the municipal tax. Save the form. Now create another tariff under the bill category. Now select the tariff name. For this press F10. Now second is electricity charge. Select this head and save the form. Now select the third category. Press F10. Now third head is water charges. Select this head and select save the form. Now close it. Now click on show tariff under this category. As we click on this show tariff under this category, the tariff which we just created under this part A bill category, those tariff will show here. As this part A is finished, now we are going to create the part B. For creating the part B category, click on plus, enter the short name B. In bill category, paste this text which you want to show on a report. Save the form. As this part is created, bill category is created. Now we are going to define the category wise tariff for this part B. Now click on define category wise tariff. Now create the tariff for the part B. Click on new record. Select the part B. Then select the tariff name under which those come in part B. Now select the parking charges as parking charges come under the part B. Save the form. Now create a new record. Select the tariff which will come under the part B. Other charges. Here we can see parking charges, other charges, non-occupancy and interest on arrear. This four head come under the part B. So one by one we'll create the tariff category for, we'll select this tariff under this part B category. Click on plus, select the part B, then select the tariff under this category. Non-occupancy charges come under the part B. Again select category and select the tariff. Now interest on arrear. Close the form. Now click on show tariff under this category. Here we can see now those four heads come under this part B as shown in this. These four heads come under this part B. Now the third is we have to create the part C. Now enter the short code. Select the text. Save the form. Now go to define category wise tariff. We have to follow the same step as we previously done for the part A and part B. Select the category. Now category will come part C. Tariff name. Maintenance charge come inside the part C. So select under this category. Next, sinking fund repair and lift maintenance contribution. Now select sinking fund. Select the form. Save the form. Repair fund. Then lift maintenance contribution. Save the form. Click on show tariff under this category. Here we can see now those head come under the Part C, maintenance, sinking, repair and lift maintenance contribution. Close the form. Now this second step as we see, we have to click on bill category and then create the bill category of part A, part B and part C, under which we have to define the tariff. Now the third step is we have to set the GST parameter. For this we will go to parameter. In parameter, click on GST account. In GST account, this CGST, SGST and tax round, those head we have to create in ledger head under the tax collection. After creating those head in the ledger heads, we have to select in this form CGST, SGST and tax round and tick on this option GST applicable. After that we have to click on update. As these fields are already created, so you have to create first this heads inside the ledger heads. After that go to define GST rate. Click on plus. Here create a new GST rate master. Enter the effective date here. Enter CGST SGST percent. Then select round off method. Then here in bill type you have to select the tariff category. Save the form. After selecting the bill by tariff category, now go to define bill by GST parameter. Click on this button, add new record. Here enter the effective date. Then select the unit type residential. Here in tariff group, select the group on which GST is applied. Here we can see there are three group like part A, part B and part C. From these three parts, part A is a part on which GST is not applied. So for setting the parameter, we have to make sure that we have to select only those part on which GST is applied. So on part B and part C, GST is applied. So select the part B. As part B is a part on which GST is applied compulsory. So there is no need to add the limit here. Save the form. As soon as we save the form, here we can see all those heads which we have created inside this part B are showing here. Now create a new record. Enter the effective date. Select unit type residential. And here in tariff group, select the part C. As here you can see on part C, there is a limit. If the total of B plus C exceeds 22,500 rupees, then only GST is applied. So here we have to insert the limit amount. Now save the form. As we save the form, the heads which come under the part C, those are showing here. Sinking, repair, maintenance and lift contribution. Now close the form. When we go to this again to the GST rate master, here you can see the GST parameter that we just defined now showing in this grid. Now this after this third step, the fourth step is we have to generate the bill. Here you can see I have generated the bill for the April, May, June month. Now I am going to generate bill for July, August, September. Now go to generate bill. As I want to select building, wing, select bill for July, August, September. Enter the bill date, due date. Insert the text accordingly. Now click on OK. Now generate bill. Now we'll go to one of the bill. Now print this bill. Here we can see in this is newly created report. Here you can see in part A, the text which we have created on this bill category as showing here. Part A, item on which GST is not applicable. Those head which are municipal tax, water charges, electricity charges are showing here. The total of this part A is showing in this section. Part A, item on which GST is not applicable, and total of this part A is showing separately. This is part B, item on which GST is applicable irrespective of whether the total charges exceed rupees 22,500 rupees. This is showing here which are under this category: other charges, parking, non-occupancy and interest on arrear come. And this is and total of this part B is showing here. In a part B, item on which GST is applicable irrespective of whether the total amount charges exceed 22,500 rupees. Here total showing. Same for part C. It's separate section and those total is showing below. So here we can see that we will calculate this amount. Here we can see the part B amount is 3219 plus part C amount is 21,000. So the total of part B plus part C is 24,219 rupees. We'll calculate the GST on it. Multiply by 0.09. Here we can see the CGST showing 2179.71 rupees. As this part B and part C total go beyond this 22,500 limit, so the GST get applied on both the heads, like part B plus part C. इन दोनों की टोटल यहाँ पे इन दोनों की टोटल पे GST लग रहा है. As the total of these two B and C parts exceed beyond this 22,500 rupees, which is showing in CGST section 2179.71 rupees and in SGST. And here we can see total of this part A plus part B plus part C is showing in this total, that is 27,594 rupees. Total of these three parts are showing here in total. Here you can see this principal area is showing. If there is any area is there, this will show in this principal area, interest area and tax area. And total of all those amount is showing here in a total dues amount and payable, that is 58,262 rupees. And this is receipt. This is first scenario where we seen if the total of part B plus part C if exceed beyond this 22,500 rupees limit, then the GST will get applied on this total of part A plus part B amount. Now we'll see the second scenario. If the part B plus part C amount is less than 22,500 rupees, then GST will get only apply on a part B. We'll see this bill, print it. Now we will calculate the total. Amount of part B is 532 rupees plus part C amount is 21,000 rupees. That is 21,532 rupees, which is less than 22,500 rupees. As this amount is less than 22,500 rupees, so in this case GST will not get applied on a part C. Only GST will apply on part B, because in any scenario GST apply on a part B. So the amount of part B is 532 rupees. We'll calculate 9% of this amount, which is 47.88 rupees. So GST will get applied only on the part B, which is on amount 532. So 9% of this 532 is 47.88 rupees. This is second scenario. These are the two scenario which we are seeing the GST applied or not, categorized wise. Now I will revise from the beginning how to set the GST parameter for category. The first we have to ensure that in ledger head, the head on which GST is applied, on those head, service tax or GST applicable must be tick, like parking charges. We have to make sure the head on which GST is applied, those head must be tick, and head on which GST is not applied, on those head, this checkbox must be unticked. Now second step is in ledger head, we have to go to bill category. In bill category, we have to create the bill category one by one for part A, part B and part C. For part A, part B and part C, we have to define the category wise tariff under this section. This is second step. Now third step is we have to go to parameter. We have to set the GST parameter here and then define the GST parameter. After defining the GST rate master, we have to define the bill by GST parameter here. For part B, there is no limit, and for part C, there is a limit of 22,500 rupees. This is the third step. Then fourth step is we have to generate bill. This is all about the setting of this GST parameter. So thank you everyone for joining this session. We will conclude this session here.